Book 206. Good morning, good morning. Welcome back to Morning Motivation with Matthew Daniels, and today I'm going to tell you guys about George Washington and his father's cherry tree. That's right, George Washington and his father's cherry tree. But what is Matthew Daniels talking about? A long time ago, in the area of the earth we call the United States of America today, a man named Mason Locke Weems set out to write the biography of America's very first president, George Washington. In this biography, he told what has become one of the most well-known stories of Washington's young life. It is said that when Washington was only 6 years old, his father gave him a hatchet as a gift. With this hatchet, young Washington chopped down one of his father's favorite cherry trees. When his father saw what happened, he confronted his son. According to Weems, young Washington proclaimed, "I cannot tell a lie. I cut down your cherry tree." His father then praised him for his honesty and said that his honesty was worth more than 1,000 cherry trees. This story, however, is not entirely true. It was a myth created by Weems to both highlight the virtues of Washington and to also illustrate a truth of history that is not so well known. One of my ancestors lived in the area during that time, and they have indeed passed the true story down directly to me. I was told that the myth of the cherry tree was deeper than just an example of Washington's honesty. The United States of America was born out of 13 colonies, and these 13 colonies were created by Europeans who had invaded and conquered this land over the course of several hundred years. In the distant past, however, those European nations did not even know that these lands existed. They were told of these lands by a people called Moors. The Moors were black Africans from North Africa who invaded and conquered Spain and ruled for around 700 years. These Moors not only ruled portions of Europe, but they also ruled many nations in Africa. They were also masters of the sea, and as such, they traveled to the lands now called America long ago, and they established their own colonies and kingdoms long before the Europeans arrived. When the head of the Moorish Empire was defeated in Spain by Ferdinand II of Aragon and Isabel, Queen of Castilla, several European nations and even the Pope himself set out to make the Moors pay for enslaving them in their own lands. In league with one another, they sent out troops to all lands where the Moors ruled, and one by one they defeated them on the field of battle and enslaved them. Over the course of several hundred years, the Moorish Empire was completely uprooted and their power was successfully broken. Also, the memory of their rule was buried beneath the sands of their defeat, and no one dared to even speak their names. The author, Mason Locke Weems, knew of this history, and he sought to include it in his history of America's first president. So, when he said that George Washington cut down his father's cherry tree, he was really talking about the European nations chopping down the empire of the Moors. He used the symbolism of a cherry tree because the Moors were known to wear bright red fezzes upon their heads. With the establishment of America, the final stronghold of the Moors had fallen, and the proverbial cherry tree was chopped down. And so, the morning motivation of today is George Washington and his father's cherry tree. If we take our time and study those things which happened before our birth, we will soon realize a pattern. There is an ebb and flow to existence in which those on top sink down to the bottom, and those on the bottom soon rise up to the top. And over time, those who rose to the top will eventually fall again, and those on the bottom will eventually rise. So, if you are currently in a low state in life, there is truly no way for you to go but up. If you would only stay strong during your current storm and do not give up, you will have your chance to rise again. And if you are currently on top, be humble in your success, because destruction lies just around the corner. So today, stay the course, follow your heart, and always strive to do that which is good. And remember, you are awesome, you are amazing, you are wonderful, and you are great. And you are going to change the world. I just hope I'm still alive to see it, family. I'm out. Good morning.